Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Rocket Monday, we're gonna talk about SpaceX facility. I got a super chat in my basically Hindi channel, so now I have to do it. So let's understand the concept of SpaceX here. Well, SpaceX is a top class company. At this point in time, SpaceX is so far ahead of everyone else that you take SpaceX, entirety of planet, does not matter whether it's private, does not matter it's government based, entirety of that, SpaceX is almost on the same level. So they are a top class company, let's just say that. Now a top class company needs a top class facilities. If they do not have good facilities, they're not gonna go anywhere. That's a very important requirement. Now SpaceX philosophy, core philosophy is work hard and play hard. What does that mean? That simply means when you're working, you go all in, you go like full accelerator throttle to the metal, and like you just go. And when you play, you go YOLO. They have a lot of activities and top quality food. And this is one of the smartest thing anybody has figured out. It's like, if you want your workers to work well, provide them quality food. It would be minor expense on you, but your productivity yield would go exponentially. Top quality food, outcome, GG. Even Google figured it out. Top quality food equals GG output. Then you have to understand this. This place is not suitable for normal people. Like if you take just every random Tom, Dick and Harry, they're not going to work very well here, because even if you have the qualification, even if like you went through the gauntlet of test and all that, they reject almost 90%, then in that selection pool, they only select like 5% of that. So it's like very tough, very tough. Even if you did that, you will not have the stability that you will have if, let's say, you got your job into any other company, be it Blue Origin, be it ULA, be it, let's say, NASA. Here they have super duper hyper high firing rate, meaning they're just like, you dip even 1 month, gone, you're just gone. Like, and here's the deal. You, again, you may think that you are a robot, you may think you are a Vulcan, but unfortunately you are a human. What does that mean? That simply means you will be affected by emotional things, meaning if something bad happens in your personal life, let's say you get divorced, your output will go down drastically. And when it goes down, bye-bye. So this is not suitable for average. These are for almost sociopath level kind of people. And again, even they do not stay there for very long. So be mindful of that. It's not for like, oh, I want to, it's like my dream job. Maybe for short term, not for long term. Then this is one controversial part which somehow dumb people do not get, is that only Americans can join. Now the reason for that is because of the government. And again, this is a good thing. Even if India has a project similar to this, we also have the same rules. USA, Russia, China, everybody has this. Basically, USA puts space technology, basically anything that allows you to build a rocket. Be mindful, an orbital rocket is a harder thing than ICBMs. If you can make an orbital rocket, you can easily make ICBMs in time passes. Like, bro, I just built an ICBM. Yeah, I was bored. Saturday project, my bad. So that's why this technology, this whole ecosystem is contained inside a very strict regulation. So that advanced weapons technology is regulated under the Act of International Traffic in Arms Regulatory, basically this puppy, ITAR. And this puppy has fangs, like they are powerful people, meaning you do not want to piss these people off. And I have found out, like, they are so solid. Like anybody who's studying rocket science in American colleges, they already have a list of it. They're like, they know. It's like, these are the people, if you randomly meet them on the street and you're like, bro, I'm working on rockets, they're like, bro, we know. It's like, I got this grade. It's like, no, we know. We are the one who's responsible to make sure that random Tom, Dick and Harry cannot just build ICBMs by collecting Americans. So they have very strict regulations on that. And the easiest way to not have an issue, like, try not to hire foreign people. And again, you may find Indians there, but generally they will be second gen Indian. What does that mean? That simply means a mom and dad actually went from India, or maybe like, father went or mom went and then they got married in America, or maybe like, as a couple they moved there. Their kid who has like birth certificate directly in America, they have much easier chance to get into any place that is regulated by ITAR. So again, be mindful. It's same with every Tom, Dick and Harry. So it's one of those things that it may look like, oh, this is this and that. No, it's by law requirement of every wise country has this. And they have very restricted access to every related facility. That's why even if a documentary crew gets inside, they are very thoroughly monitored, and every single bit of footage is like thoroughly scanned by someone very professional and people you do not want to piss off. So these are serious people. So let's understand the headquarter. Now, headquarter is Hawthorne, California, USA. Now, this location, Hawthorne, California, is kind of a hotspot. Basically, how in India we have a hotspot known as Bangalore. Now, if you are talking about tech, you are talking about startups, you are talking about IT, that's where it is. So, same way, if you're talking about a rocket launch, rocket companies, and all that, you are talking about Hawthorne, California in USA. It's Silicon Valley of that nature. Now, which companies are there? Well, short answer, every company. Basically, Boeing, Raytheon, NASA, etc. And that etc includes almost everything. So, trust me, it's the hotspot. And this building, this puppy that you see, it was built by Northrop government and for Boeing contract for 747 fuselage. That's why the building is huge. Like, be mindful, this rocket is huge and this building is almost 1/3 of it, more than 1/3 of it. So, huge puppy. Why this is so huge? Because it was designed to build fuselage of a huge plane. Not Airbus A380, but Boeing 747 is not what we call chump change. So still big puppy. And everything that you see in SpaceX generally is done here. So they have two segments, basically a soft segment where you do all the software integration and all that jazz, and then you have the hardware shop. And every manufacturing generally happens here. So even if they are building satellite, it will be built here first, then it will go to some other place for mass production. This is the core, this is the heart of SpaceX. Everything that you see or hear generally is done here first, then they ship it, transport it somewhere, or break it down and ship it, and then like, oh, just this is a design, copy it somewhere else. So this is the headquarter of it. That's why even if a movie is shot there inside, tell me which movie was shot inside this. Like you will, they are very good, right? Like surprisingly good at like, isolating everything. Like you will not see anything of value. So this is the headquarter. This is where they have like the hanging returned capsule. Then we come to the testing bar. That's the place where you build. Where do you test it? That's a middle of a street, not street as in the middle of a very densely populated area. You do not go whoosh there. So where do you go whoosh? You go into testing facility, that is McGregor, Texas, USA. Now this puppy is surprisingly well suited for that. Why? When USA went into World War II, they realized they have a lot of manpower. They did not have boom power, meaning they had technologies. It's just that they were not mass producing it enough. And back in the days, wars consumed like shells, boom devices at a rate not equivalent of a truck. Like I'm consuming one truck. They were consuming trains. And I mean full trains of like 20 carts, sir, gone. They were consuming that much. So they had to build multiple factories all around the USA was built to specifically churn out boom powders and boom devices that can go boom at moment's notice. And an exponentially large amount of booms were made. Now, they built it, everything was awesome, they won, everything was awesome, but after that it was like, bro, we had to decommission it. They decommissioned it, and some parts of basically metal manufacturing part, they tried to pivot, quote unquote, to other things like cars, home appliances and all that. It did work, but for short duration. After that, Cold War happened. So Cold War, this place was like so isolated, so well built. They were like, hey, let's use it for rocket testing for Apollo era. Meaning, if you have ever wondered where the heck NASA was testing the early stages of Apollo and all that, this is where they were testing it. So at that point, this site became the launch site, so to say. This is where they were testing the primitive designs of all other rocket systems and ICBMs also. So this site was very well chosen for that. After that, a private company bought it, which wanted to build rockets and all that, but NASA declined the contract, and that company went poof. After that, SpaceX got it in 2003. Yes, they had it back then. And you have to understand, SpaceX started in 2002. So in 2003, they already got their testing lab. Now, this is where core testing happens, meaning where the heck this is happening? This is happening in McGregor, Texas. Where the heck they are testing Raptor gimbal hinges? This tripod is in McGregor. Again, this tripod is not even built by SpaceX. It was built by the prior company. Where do you see the Grasshopper launch? It's exactly in McGregor, Texas. Basically, how the heck SpaceX built something and knows that it's going to work? Because it went through here. Everything that is worth in their salt happens here. Everything. Like this is the back of this. And this is the most ironic part. They learned the idea of like, tripod stands. Awesome. Even this tripod stand has a metal bucket that is angled. They know, like every engineer knows, you do not do this, you do this. Like there is a bucket there. And it also has water cooling there. I think that's why they are so confident about water cooling metal. So it has giant tubes that are cooling it down. So this is the Texas testing part. This is where they figure it out. However, because there are people around it, they have a law that after 12 p.m., not even 12, I think it's around 11, they cannot test anything. Every testing has to be done in day. At night time, nope. Nighttime is a nope. Then we come to the Starbase. Right now, it's the core focus of it. Now, core design, core hope for Starbase is this puppy is that it will be a self-contained ecosystem. Eventually, they want to reach a point where everything that needs to be built for Starship is built in Starbase itself. Everything. Of course, they will have raw material shipping in, but after that, and I would not be surprised if if they successfully yield this place, they may able to lay down a railway line so they can have like, metal shipment continuously coming in. So the idea is this will be completely self-contained ecosystem. It has 3 spots. Like if you look into the map, it has 3 spots, and it's actually kind of closer than basically Florida launch site. It is a bit closer to equator, so that's the best place. And they're so goddamn close. If you look into the map, like if they jumped a little bit, they will end up in Mexico. So it's damn close to, like, this is the tippest, like almost as tip as they can go. And they got this place in 2010. And if you ever wondered how the heck, or now there are so many people complaining about this site being given to SpaceX, that's the reason. When it was given in 2010, be mindful, what was the capability of SpaceX in 2010? Very little. So nobody was thinking, basically the people who gave this site, they were not thinking about, oh, you're gonna build like, the world's largest rocket there, where even it's like, failure of launch pad will cause a, sandstorm kilometers away. So nobody had a context of it. That's why the FAA is like under so much hot water now. And this area is like in serious conflict at this point in time. Could it be solved? Let's hope so. But it is something serious. It's not something anymore that you can be like, who cares? No, it is serious. It's serious. It has a lot of people from governments to private organizations going at it. So this place is in like, murky water, so to say. And the faith remains to be seen, because if they really want to stretch this puppy, they have to connect it with a railway line. This is like, it sounds good to have like, trucks of gases and liquid gases and all that coming. It's not economically viable. It's stupid. And not to mention the road that they were using, they keep destroying it, because again, it's not designed for it. Like you need something else. So that's the Starbase. So then we come to the daddy. So daddy is Cape Canaveral. Now Cape Canaveral, if you ever wondered how the heck USA has so much power, this is the reason. Basically, the same way SpaceX is so far ahead of everyone else, especially Cape Canaveral is like, bro, every other nation barely has half of this. Like as an active, practical launch site, half of this other countries have. And this is like, bro, I got this. Like there is a launch site and each of them are active and maintained. Be mindful. Active and maintained. What does that mean? That simply means there is a road to connecting it, there is a water deluge system, there is a sock suppression system, there is more than enough things there that if you have a rocket size, there is generally a pad that is well suited for that. It's like just put it there. Of course, you will redesign it, reconfigure it for your core needs, but it's there. It's already built there. So Cape Canaveral is the core here, and you can see it's like it has so many launch complexes. And SpaceX got launch complex 40 in 2007, and there is a video of in like bit 1 or 2 years later than that. The video is 13 years old. I have linked it down below. Elon Musk is in that area. He's talking about how they're gonna tear apart the old model designs. Gonna put some big balls there, liquid oxygen balls. So they're gonna put some big balls there. They're gonna have maintenance and all that. Of course, if they wanted to really push Falcon 9, they needed a launch pad that is dedicated for Falcon 9, and they built it in basically Launch Complex 40, and they started in 2007. Now they did it, it worked, everything was awesome, and you can see the Florida location is here, and you can notice that Texas complex is a bit closer. Ideally, you want to be directly at equator unless you have sea launch capability. That location is very hard to obtain in USA. It's not obtainable. So Florida is second best, and it's best in simple sense because if you are building a rocket, ideally you have enough oomph that you can launch it from anywhere. You do not rely on it, and that reliance on like trying to launch it as close to equator is more for buffer. Basically, it's like, hey, if your buffer capacity is 5% of fuel, 5% of propellant left at the once the final satellite is done, that gives you correction room where it's like, hey, I think we can push a satellite a bit more or orbit adjust it. That's the margin that you want. But your rocket is inherently designed that it can be launched from anywhere. Otherwise, it's a stupid rocket. So they will try to launch as much as possible from Florida, but it can be launched from anywhere else also. So this desire to go into that basically tip of that is just an add-on. It's not necessary. Let that be very clear. It's not necessary. They have to be close to equator. No, if you are building a proper rocket, it's not a necessary thing. Now, that was Launch Complex 40. That's this puppy, Launch Complex 40. After that, they filed a bid for Launch Complex 39A, and they got it in 2014. Now, this is the time where Blue Origin filed a counterclaim and is like, dude, you should not give 39A as a dedicated to one owner, basically leasing it to one individual. Basically, the problem was Blue Origin was like, this site is very important, it must be leased to multiple companies. But SpaceX countered that claim with one very smart word. Do you have a launch orbital? Like, do you have anything that you put in an orbit anywhere? You have anything you have actually launched? No. Then why you are talking? It's like, why are you talking, bro? So NASA listened to that and they got 39A. And if you ever wondered how the heck SpaceX can launch so many rockets so quickly, this is the location. This is how they are doing it. And this is the time-lapse video. One individual built it. I have linked it down below. And this shows it like clock by clock, basically as early as like 10 years. So they are like, took one launch, took two launch. Year is going by, year is going by. And 2022 is like, it's becoming a machine gun. Because again, launch cadence is bonkers high here. Bonkers high. Like no other nations comes close to this site's yield rate, specifically SpaceX, basically complex 40A. And they are trying to build, like this is the location, they're gonna build Starship Launch Base Part 2 there. So Cape Canaveral is their, like, backbone. Right now, that's the backbone. They also have another site that is lower cadence use, basically retrograde. If they need to launch from other side, this is where Vandelvar Air Force Naval Base is there. They can launch from there. And why I'm saying naval base is that there is another launch complex there also, but this is the primary puppy for USA. So this was my presentation on basically actual facilities of SpaceX. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike. Press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.